Hey guys, Unfair here. Welcome back to another episode of Cutting Room Floor.
Pritchard, I located Radford. He was attacked by men in suits. Private security, Secret Service types. I'm going after them.
What about Radford? Did you get anything out of him?
He's in pretty bad shape. You need to call it in, get an ambulance to his apartment stat.
Got it. And Jensen, don't get yourself killed, okay?
Oh, Francis. I didn't know you cared.
Don't flatter yourself. I care about the security of this company. You getting yourself killed compromises that. So don't be stupid.
And I actually need to buy the leg upgrades here so that I can get up this little shortcut. We have 5 praxis, so 2 is nothing. This should get us into those lockers.
Of course he is. I know Mr. Gray is landing tonight. We're working on it, yeah.
I got a man down here.
Now, I'd like to point out that Mr. D.A., I believe he's trying to say Darrow there. And we haven't met Darrow yet, but we will relatively soon.
What are you doing?
One more to go.
I'm out.
I want to do that silently because there's a bunch of cops around here, and you can really freak them out if you start a firefight. Fire destroys White Helix Labs. And the part that's most interesting about this, aside from the fire being suspicious, is that White Helix Labs is a subsidiary of VerseLife, supposedly studying childhood genetic diseases. But we know from the previous game what VerseLife really does. They're all about augmentation technology. Might as well just go for the jugular here.
Access granted.
So this is Radford's research on us while we were in the SWAT team. It's most likely a pissed off superior wanted us off the force and just used it as an excuse, basically. Someone was doing a little hacking for Radford. And this is actually a report that came from Megan Reed. DNA is remarkable, using VerseLife's chaos model, which basically tries to predict future evolution. The DNA that she was given was actually one step ahead on the evolutionary curve, so it was exactly what that project was trying to detect. Basically, I think the idea is to detect that special DNA and then use the information gathered from that to enhance other normal people. And this is another report from Radford to our boss. Neither of our parents are our birth parents. Probability of parentage, 0. And here's another report that he pulled from White Helix Labs. Basically saying that we're just adopted. Our parents weren't the real parents. And then Michelle Walters, she's the one that Radford was talking about seeing. She was a nurse at White Helix, and now unfortunately she's apparently senile. But we're gonna go see her anyway. She does have a little bit of useful information. Her apartment is pretty close to Radford's, right next door. I like how all these people are still standing around just looking at the guy's unconscious body. And for some reason, she doesn't lock her door. Don't know why that is.
Did I leave my door open? Wait, you're not from Rolling Mills. You're too handsome to be from Rolling Mills.
No, I'm not. Mrs. Michelle Walters, is it? My name's Adam Jensen.
No. You much too old to be him. You must be from Rolling Mills. And please, it's Miss Walters.
Brent Radford sent me. Do you remember him? He's a detective.
Yes, lovely gentleman. He still has my photos of Adam when he was a baby. Oh, could you be a dear and fetch them for me? I forgot who has them, though.
Roland Mills must have some really ugly people if she notices that we're too handsome to be them.
Are these the photographs?
Oh, yes. Thank you. I haven't seen Adam Jensen in such a long time. Forever, it seems. Such a happy baby.
Miss Walters, can you tell me about the boy in those photos?
The boy in those photos? Adam. Tragic, really, what happened to his parents. His real parents.
His real parents?
They died in that fire. Horrible, really. I was there. At least those other cribs were empty. I only had to save Adam.
Mrs. Walters, I really need you to focus. What are you talking about?
Why, I already told that nice detective all this already. About the experiments and the fire at White Helix Labs. We knew Adam was special. That's why his parents started the fire, so they didn't do the same thing to the next batch of babies.
So Adam's real parents were trying to protect him. But from what?
Why, from the conspiracy, of course. But I've said too much. Would you be a dear now and go fetch my dinner?
So the people that she's calling our parents started the fire and killed themselves in the process.
Thank you for your time, Miss Walters.
Oh, before I forget, if you see Adam, could you please give him this? It's for all the birthdays and Christmases I've missed. I've been saving them.
Now, if you accept this, it doesn't really do anything for you, but declining it gets you a little bit of useful information.
You've done enough for him, Mrs. Walters. I'm sure he'd want you to keep the money.
So nice of you. Like Mr. Radford and Adam. You know, they called him a genetic marvel. He was ahead of his time. They was hoping to tear out so much from his DNA, but we stopped him. Oh, yes, we did.
So, we were the baby that they were trying to learn from, basically. The one that was one step ahead.
Pritchard, I need you to assign a temporary security detail to an apartment on Brooklyn Court until I can figure out a more permanent solution. The woman's name is Walters, Michelle Walters.
Security detail? What the hell, Jensen? Who is this woman?
She's family, but she's vulnerable. I'll explain later. Just do this for me, please. And not a word to CRF. Can I trust you on this, Pritchard?
Christ, Jensen. All right. I'll do it. But there better be a damn good reason for this.
There is. I'll fill you in next time I see you. But right now I need to get back to work. And Pritchard, thanks.
Yeah.
Hey, Pritchard is a good guy for once. Not complaining or anything. Let's take a stop at the limb clinic real quick. There should be 2 Praxis kits we can pick up there. And then we'll head on to the convention center.
Welcome to Limb International. Providing...
Supposedly the convention center is the main part of this area, but it's actually the least interesting part.
Will you be purchasing anything today?
217.
Oh, we actually only have 5,000 credits. That's not good.
Always a pleasure, sir.
We'll have to come back for that other Praxis kit in a little bit. Don't want to miss any of those. Hopefully we have enough money before we leave Detroit. like all these big police spots and stuff. They're pretty cool looking. Gives the city a nice atmosphere.
Everything seems to be under control in the convention center.
And Taggart?
He's on stage now. His protection is deep. Only those with VIP passes can get by the guards.
We'll just stay here and make sure none of those hooligans try to sneak in the back door.
Yeah, none of those hooligans like me. Ooh, there's another one of those blips.
Don't go looking to start trouble in here. Security's very tight for Mr. Taggart's visit.
Yeah. I noticed. Not like we couldn't take him, though. If you're watching the subtitles popping up as we're running along, pretty much everyone in here is having a debate on the augmentation technology. Because that's what Taggart's conference is all about. Now, if you wait long enough and hang around in this back room, Taggart will actually come back and meet you here. But I'm just going to go ahead and confront him on the main stage.
Human evolution is a fantasy, but that is exactly what I am telling you. As a world...
Where's your sidekick, Taggart? 6 months ago, CRF Industries was attacked by mercenaries whose objective was to cripple our research. But I've learned the attack was just a smokescreen. Megan Reed's team was kidnapped, and Isaiah Sandoval, your personal aide, was involved.
That is ridiculous. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for Mr. Jensen's intrusion, and I assure you that these accusations are without basis.
Are they?
This is Sandoval. Why are you calling me here?
There's been a change of plans. CRF's team must not make it to the hearing.
But that's too soon. If you want me to remove the GPLs, I'll need a full operating suite. Does the facility have one?
That's your man, Taggart. Talking about removing implanted GPL devices so that the people who took CRF scientists could cover it up.
I see what's going on here. CRF Industries has received 2 black eyes in the last few days. The first, due to the shocking news coming out of Montreal that biotech companies are secretly participating in unethical super soldier experiments. And the second, as a result of their violent escalation of today's peaceful protest. David CRF and his corporate bedfellows are desperate and in imminent danger of losing the regulation vote, so this man has been sent here to attack my reputation.
I'm right here, Taggart. Look at me. I admit, I wouldn't feel bad if your reputation was damaged in front of the press, since you've been doing the same to my colleagues for years. But that's not why I'm here. CRF scientists are alive, and it's time for the truth to come out.
The truth, Mr. Jensen, is that this recording of yours proves nothing. It could have been made by anyone in the world with a grudge against Humanity Front, and you are our prime suspect.
You got a lot of nerve to accuse me of lying. I'm not the one standing in front of a crowd of people hiding my involvement in kidnapping and murder.
My involvement, Mr. Jensen? Your recording doesn't prove that. My heart goes out to you. Perhaps it's best that you came to me rather than bringing this recording to the police. You needed to be some kind of proof because you're still suffering. You're trying to find someone else to blame for the emotional trauma you experienced when you woke up from that surgery and discovered you were no longer quite human.
You're right. Picking up my life after that surgery was the hardest thing I've ever done. Hell, first time I saw myself in a mirror, I smashed the damn thing. But I've gotten past it. Because I know that what I need to do to make things right is help the other victims of that attack.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be insensitive. As you know, I was a practicing psychologist before I devoted my life to ending the threat of augmentation. And I've seen this kind of behavior before. You're confused. You consider me your enemy, and you think the only way you can regain control is to defeat me in some way. You're wrong, I'm afraid.
I don't have to make you my enemy, Taggart. Your actions speak for themselves. You started the anti-augmentation movement, and now anti-augmentation terrorist groups are making headlines every day. You always say Humanity Front isn't violent. But look outside. We're seeing proof that it is.
Mr. Jensen, the only one seeing proof of Humanity Front's involvement in attacks on CRF Industries is you. Look at every speech I have ever given. Every piece of documentation available, all of them clearly indicate the same thing. Humanity Front is committed to nonviolence. Anything less would dishonor the memory of my wife, whose murder was the direct result of augmentation addiction. Who are you to suggest otherwise?
That's interesting. So he actually seems like kind of a good guy. He's doing the wrong thing for the right reasons.
What happened to your wife was tragic. But what's happening to CRF scientists is going on right now, and you have a chance to do something about it. You have nothing to lose if Sandoval's innocent. And if he isn't, you can preserve your reputation by helping me. Why won't you do that?
Because I just can't believe Isaias would be guilty of this, but you're right. Whether he's guilty or not, I have to get to the truth. Marjorie would want it that way. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize, but I'm going to have to beg your indulgence for a few moments more. If you will all please remain patient, I will return as soon as I can. Thank you. Mr. Jensen, I'll see you backstage.
And since we talked him down, we actually don't have to sneak in the backstage anymore. We can just go directly in. Interesting to note, too, he said that the information about the super soldiers came from Montreal, so it must have been something from Eliza Cassan, which means that somebody's trying to set us up, or discredit augmentation technology.
Mr. Jensen, I appreciate you allowing me to deal with this in a more discreet manner.
Save it, Taggart. You've wasted enough of my time as it is. Now where's Sandoval?
He has an apartment he uses when in this city, on Grand River Road. He mentioned he was feeling very run down, so I can only assume he went there.
I see.
He's not an evil man, Mr. Jensen. If he's done what you say, it's only because of his brother, Ezekiel. A man you might know better as Zeke Sanders.
Sanders? The man who attacked Sarah's manufacturing plant?
I knew nothing about it until after it was over, and then I tried. I tried to convince Isaias not to follow in his footsteps.
Good job.
Mr. Jensen, please. Isaias has done so much for so many needy people, people suffering from implant rejection. Promise me you will deal with him fairly.
That all depends on Isaias.
I understand, but please try.
So two brothers, both anti-augmentation terrorists, basically.
And CRF Industries. The footage sparking the riots appears to show scientists performing.
The corridors all look the same in this place. I can never tell which one's the way out. We're also going to run into a police guy with a side quest on the way out, and I'm just going to skip that. It's not real important or interesting in any way.
Jensen? I almost didn't recognize you. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, what are the chances? Do you remember me? I was a rookie when you still rolled in SWAT.
Nikki. Of course I remember you. How you been? The brass got you on ride control too?
Yeah, I am. Or I was until... Damn it. Look, something big is going down, and I'm kind of freaking out here. You remember that MCBer, Jacob White? You busted him a couple of times.
Yeah, I remember him. Assault and possession. He's still running rackets?
No, I mean, yeah, shit, I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter, because he's moved on to bigger things.
Nikki, slow down.
Listen, hear me out. I just got word he has his hands on some real military-grade explosives. The prick's got a fucking bomb, Adam. And you know how much he hates the PD. He's going to hit us while we have our pants down with the riots. You gotta help us out here.
Nikki, I'm kind of busy. If he's got a bomb, just call it in and follow procedure.
What do you think I've been doing? I've been on the horn all night, and my CO already sent a patrol over to Jacob's house. We've got a warrant, so they searched the place, but nothing came up, not even Jacob. Now they're saying my CI is probably full of shit and just fucking with me. Bullshit! Jacob's using the riots as cover, and he's going to hit us, and hit us hard. Adam, I need you to trust me on this. You gotta help me find Jacob.
I'm sorry, Nick, but I'm not a cop anymore.
Jensen, please. I know you traded in your badge for a paycheck, but once a cop, always a cop. Do the right thing here. I need your help. We need your help.
I didn't trade my badge in for a paycheck. I traded my badge in because they kicked my ass out. And if you guys didn't have your heads so far up your ass, you'd be able to find the bomb in the sewers right below the police station. Let's check out our money situation here one more time. Still at 349 credits, unfortunately. I guess we're gonna have to miss that last Praxis kit. The one thing that is interesting about the guy that we didn't stop, the one who put the bomb below the police station, is that his side quest is called Smash the State, which, if you remember, is a password at the very beginning of the original Deus Ex. It opens up all the security panels and turrets and stuff like that. Anyway, in this game, he's part of the New Sons of Freedom, which is a group that eventually turns into the NSF. The groups have different names, but same initials. So this should be the address the tagger gave us for Isaias. Let's go up and see if anybody's home.
You sure you closed the door?
Yeah. Of course I did. What do you think I am? An idiot?
You're not gonna make me answer that, are you? You son of a...
Saw me a little too late, guys. That's not a good sign when there's gangbangers outside, and some dude with a nightstick laying there on the floor. I'm not sure if he's police or security. He could even work for CRF Industries. And this data cube just has the code to the safe, which I'm guessing is on the wall right over here. Now we can actually take this. It's a trap that goes off if we take it, Apparently it doesn't go off if he's already dead. But if he isn't, there's an EMP explosion.
Pritchard, looks like Sandoval's got a secret bunker. I'm gonna flush him out.